Jana, it is wonderful to have you back again.
For once, I wrote something out because I was real conscious to keep it to the 3 to 4 minutes.
For you, what's your issue you want to highlight and your hope?
Yeah, well, I'm working as a primary school teacher and I'm also a trade union activist as well. So 3 minutes isn't long enough to pick just one inequality in education, let alone delve into it deeply enough to give sufficient understanding to anyone working outside of that sector. And the inequalities that our students face are endless, whether that's the school premises not being fit for purpose, their cultures or personal beliefs not being reflected in the classroom, their experience of disadvantage, marginalisation, converging with early childhood traumas, which can have lifelong impacts, few supports for traveller children, as we heard earlier, for children with English as an additional language, for children in direct provision or homelessness, a referral system for diagnosis of additional needs with waiting list of 18 months just for the initial appointment, and then schools not being staffed or equipped to help those children reach their potential. And yet, as educators, we need to put on our own oxygen masks before we can support those around us. And I'm going to be talking about the vaccination of school staff because it has actually turned out to be a quite controversial topic in recent days due to the success of a highly aggressive media campaign. But I would be betraying my trade union ideals if I didn't address this when given the platform. So all along, trade unions have campaigned for safety at work, and that is their raison d'etre. And a pandemic does not change that, and it is incredulous that people within our communities would get tricked by the misleading headlines that teachers want to push past the elderly and the medically vulnerable. At no point have the leaderships of the trade unions called for this, nor did they call for education staff to receive vaccine prioritisation over other frontline workers, such as healthcare professionals. Since the school closures in January, when we were seeing 8,000 cases a day, all partners in education have wanted schools to reopen, but safely and in line with public health advice. And it was for that reason, and to prevent further disruptions to classes, as well as health complications for staff, that the government agreed to put us in Category 9. And that's what we're seeking. It's a twin track approach so that education staff can be vaccinated in tandem with other priority groups. And over the last few days, I've heard many media pundits pose the loaded question to trade union leaders of who are you proposing that you take the place of? And it's a false dichotomy, and we need to call it. You need to ask yourself, when was the last time that you were in a room of 50 square meters with 27 other people for hours at a time, and none of them were wearing masks? And there's no comparison between our work and that of someone working from home. I was not at the same risk during remote teaching as I am in the classroom, and I don't think that should be a controversial thing to say. So as parents, we trust teachers with gorgeous, precious children every day for their holistic development, and teachers are expected to model a good moral compass throughout our work and in our personal lives. Yet we're the human embodiment of greed and countless other negative traits, going by the vitriol that I've seen online this week. So which is it? No other profession has mudslung at them in such a coordinated way as this on a regular basis. And messages have come in to me from colleagues in our WhatsApp groups that we are actually genuinely concerned about the impact that this is going to be having on school staff's mental health, because there's only so much you can take. So my message of hope is that education staff are finally finding their voices, and it has caused them through sheer necessity to become assertive enough to speak up for themselves. It's also been a catalyst for us to forge strong ties of solidarity between us. Primary teachers, secondary teachers, SNAs have been doing fantastic advocacy group in the last 2 weeks, and also our school secretaries. So for anyone listening to this, please push back against the narrative and remember that everyone deserves a safe working environment, and Workers United can never be defeated.